Hello everyone. So we are here today with a new topic, mechanism of breathing. We'll simplify this topic and complete it within very few duration, very small duration. So mechanism of breathing is, I think, difficult topic for students. They perceive it as difficult, but it's not so. Let's simplify it in this video. Please subscribe to my channel if you like my videos. So let's get started. Guys, basically mechanism of breathing involve the mechanisms via which or during inspiration or expiration, when we breathe in or breathe out, how the rib cage diameter changes, how the volume changes take place, and how the pressure changes take place. If these 3 points are clear to your mind, then you know mechanism of breathing very well. Okay, so in this video we'll be talking about all three changes very soon. Fine. Just broadly speaking, normally when students talk about mechanism of breathing, it's all about muscle of respiration. Obviously the major contribution is, but it's not so. There are other changes, the pressure volume changes also you should know. Fine. So coming to muscle of respiration help in basically changes the rib cage diameter, in which we'll be talking about the major respiratory muscles and the accessory muscles, right? Major respiratory muscles basically change the size of thoracic cage, and accessory muscles basically help during forceful respiration, right? So we'll be talking about both the muscle, and these muscles are categorized into inspiratory muscles and expiratory muscles. Broadly speaking about muscles of respiration, if you can see in the image, then there are accessory muscles present and external intercostal muscle present. You can see the directions, and internal intercostal muscle, the diaphragm, okay, and the other abdominal muscles. Will revise these muscles again, but just to have a look. Now let's see inspiratory muscles and expiratory muscles. Inspiratory muscles, you can see these are the list of muscles which are used in inspiration. But when we talk about normal inspiration, these are external intercostal muscles, contraction of which elevate the rib cage. Okay, and the same occur when the diaphragm descent occur. Fine. So diaphragm and external intercostal muscles are the muscles for normal inspiration. When we talk about the forceful inspiration, then the sternocleidomastoid and scalene muscles, they help in elevating the rib cage. Fine. Coming to expiratory muscles, for expiration, we know this is a passive process. So passively it occurs because of the elastic recoil of lungs, right? But internal intercostal muscles play a role to depress the ribcage in previous position. In forceful expiration, all the abdominal muscles, especially external oblique muscle, rectus abdominis muscle, transverse abdominis, and internal oblique muscle, all these abdominal muscles, they help in forceful expiration whenever needed. So when we talk about the muscles of respiration, let's see what they do during inspiration and expiration. So the basic function of all these muscles are increasing different rib cage diameters so that we can have more volume into lungs. Fine. So if we talk about mechanism, we should be knowing that which muscle basically increase the anterior posterior diameter, increase transverse diameter, and diaphragm descends. Okay. So anterior posterior, as you can see the arrows, this is anterior posterior, these are the transverse diameter, and diaphragm descends. So you can see all these diameter changes increases the rib cage, the cavity size, okay, which is needed in respiration. So let's see how the muscles increase the anterior posterior and transverse diameter during inspiration. So first of all, let's see how the transverse diameter of the rib cage changes. Okay, as you can see, before inspiration the ribs are downward. Okay, so how we can relate this movement, just to keep remember these movements, just remember of bucket like fashion, where one end of bucket is vertebrae, the posterior end, and one end is sternum, the anterior end. So between these two, these are all ribs are like a bucket handle on both the sides, which were previously downward, and as they move upward and forward, the transverse diameter changes. So these are, for example, this one is one handle of bucket and this one is other handle of bucket. So bucket having two handle which were downward previously, and during inspiration they become upward and outward laterally. Okay, so that's why as they move upward, the transverse diameter increases. Okay, next is how anterior posterior diameter of rib cage increases. Just assume that this is a pump handle. If you are aware about what is a hand pump movement, so previously the water was used from hand pumps, in which there is a stable proportion which was buried under the sand, and this was the movable part of the hand pump. When we move it, the water comes. So this stable part are the vertebrae, and all the ribs, they are the movable part of pump. So if you see from laterally, this will look like a hand pump. So sternum is moving upward every time. This is a hand pump movement. When the ribs were downward, it was less. When the ribs come upward and outward, the anterior posterior diameter increases. Now let's see the volume change. So this 0 to 2 is the inspiration. So whenever inspiration occur, around 500 ml volume is taken inside, and during expiration it was thrown outside. So this is breathe in and this is breathe out. If we see the same in real fashion, whenever we record the air movement in or out, so air movement in is given in negative deflection, and moved air breathed out gives us positive deflection. This is the same thing. Here it is shown as positive waveform. Here it is shown as the air moving inside and the air moving outside. So 500 ml around, which is also called tidal volume. So we have seen all the muscles changing the rib cage, the volume change. Coming to intra-pleural pressure changes. Where is the pleura? You should be knowing that this is the pleural cavity shown in white color. Okay, having two layers, parietal and visceral pleura, and within both the layers there is a cavity, pleural cavity, having pleural fluid within that. So first of all, you should be knowing that what are different pressures present in pleural cavity. So before starting inspiration, what is pressure of pleura, whether it's positive or negative? So if you see a graph here, this is the starting point of inspiration. If you see the graph, there are -5 centimeter of water already present even before inspiration starts. So why it is occurring here? Why the pleural pressure is negative when we haven't even started the inspiration part? So why it is there? So we know that the lungs are elastic structures having a elastance. Basically that is ability to recoil back, ability to contract, ability to resist the expansion. Okay, so they have a elastic recoil already present. Because of that they are able to constrict. Fine. On the other hand, when we start inspiring, the chest cavity, okay, the ribs, they expands. We know that we have already read all the mechanism why the chest expansion occur, why the rib cage occur, because of contraction of external intercostal muscles. So the chest expands outward, and the elastic recoil of lung which keep them moving toward inward. So these two forces, they are acting opposite to each other. That's why the pleural pressure is negative. So which is already negative because of elastic recoil and chest expansion. So we have already a -5 pressure, the pleural pressure. On inspiration, what happened? The intrapleural pressure become more negative. Why? Because we expand the chest. Because of this chest expansion, the pressure changes from -5 to -7. Okay, so as you can see, this whole is inspiration. So when we inspire, -5 to -7, the pressure changes occur. When we expire, which is a passive process, again from -7 to -5, it is changed. So intra-pleural pressure change. Next is what are changes in intra-alveolar pressure. So this is a alveoli, this is the image showing normal respiration. I mean here inspiration haven't started. So end of expiration. We have to now start the inspiration. Before that the alveoli pressure is equal to the atmospheric pressure because nothing is happening here. No volume is, no air is moving in or out. Fine. That's why here the air pressure is equal to the pressure in alveoli. So this is equal to atmosphere pressure. Okay. So if we see an image, if we show it as a graph, then we will start with a 0. 0 means equal to atmospheric pressure. So whenever inspiration starts, what happen is because of the chest expansion, fine, because of the chest expansion, the lungs expands. Because of this, the alveoli pressure, as the volume is coming inside, as the volume increases, and whenever volume increases, pressure decreases. So the pressure falls from 0 to -1. Fine. And because of the volume is coming inside, okay, then it's during inspiration only, when the volume comes inside, the 500 ml volume come inside, the pressure again came to the equal to atmospheric pressure. So why it was negative? It was negative because of the expansion of alveoli, because of the chest expansion. But when volume again, so this -1 is basically acting as a suction of the air into the alveoli, and as it occur, the pressure again regain to 0, equal to atmospheric pressure. Okay. Now as the chest has been expanded, it has to recoil back. Fine. And that is a passive expiration, right? So during passive expiration, again because of the contraction of all the muscles, intercostal muscles, there is again a positive rise of the alveolar pressure, and it came out to be from 0 to +1. Okay. So instead of 760, it becomes 761. So +1. But again it came out to be 0. Fine. So this is because of the muscles contractions, it again rise and again become equivalent to the atmospheric pressure. So that's how the alveolar pressure changes occur. Just to summarize the mechanism of respiration, during inspiration, increase in anterior posterior diameter, which is by pump handle movement, increase in transverse diameter by bucket handle movement, diaphragm descents occur, which increases the thoracic case, intrapleural pressure changes from -5 to -7 centimeter of water, intraalveolar pressure changes from 0 to -1 centimeter of water. Volume change, so during inspiration, around 500 ml volume enters into the lungs. During expiration, which is a passive process, there is elastic recoil. Because of that, the lungs recoil back to the previous position. So intra-alveolar pressure, because of the muscle contraction, from 0 to 1 centimeter of water, intrapleural pressure from -7 to -5 again. Okay, and 500 ml is the tidal expiration volume. So that's all about mechanism of respiration. If you are clear about these points, you are very clear about the mechanism of respiration. So thanks for watching. Please subscribe to my channel if you like my videos. Okay, thank you so much.